Hello and welcome to the back roads. Now today, as you can tell, we're actually in a moving vehicle for a change, so that says something about our mechanical skills. But we're actually going to be doing something slightly different. We're actually heading to a car meet. Takona, every second Sunday, runs a cars and coffee meet I've forgotten the place we're going. Anyway, we're heading there. Jared is with me in his MR2, and we're going to have a little chat with some people, just enjoy the day, bit of a vibe video, and then at the end, we should also have a nice chat with the guys over at Takona, as well as some other peeps as well, just for a little bit of a different conversational style video today. So I hope you enjoy. If you do, please leave a like. Subscribe if you're new around here for more content. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Apologies about the lack of footage. At the end of the day, we got carried away talking to people at the meet, which is a good thing, however, not great for a YouTube video. So what's following is an impromptu podcast / conversation with some fantastic people. Now, apologies, the audio isn't great, so I hope you can look past that and enjoy the conversation. So welcome to the lovely town of Sawbridgeworth. We're here at 40. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mike. I own 40 and also pizza Squisita. We do pizza in the evening and coffee in the day.
It's very nice coffee.
It is very nice coffee.
It's so nice.
So good.
To you,
I'm Matt. I'm an automotive photographer, and I just tagged along.
Matt is here.
And then Lewis.
And obviously, I'm Lewis. I have Takona. So Mike and I work together to create coffees and cars. So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, so I mean, we've already had the coffees and cars bit. We've had a little bit shot of the footage for that. Unfortunately, we didn't shoot too much because we were too busy talking to
We
each other.
spent too much time enjoying it.
Unfortunately, that's the idea, is to get people here and to talk to one another. So you've actually done exactly what we wanted you to do.
Exactly, yeah.
What you did
So
in
We were
video.
planning to be antisocial though, Lewis.
Yeah, we were planning on kind of like a vibe video, but we thought, you know what, while we've got everyone here, we might as well have a chat.
The event was too good and it's ruined our plans.
Exactly. Clearly, it's a compliment.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry that we provided such a nice community for you to be a part
sorry.
of.
Successful failure.
Yeah, exactly. It's a happy accident.
But it's nice that we have the space.
I want to be slightly antisocial.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
so
Just randomly wandering off.
Yeah.
But you didn't get a chance to look at the cars this time.
I did.
You did the other one round.
Last month, nothing.
Literally stuck there for 3 hours with his back towards everything. So there was an E-Type, a Xenos.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Like an old
I saw the photos. I wasn't there.
That's pretty much what I saw. pretty much had to go back through the event.
Yeah.
Just
On
on
the photos,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've been living through the photos for the last 2 months it's been running, so
Yeah, exactly.
it's nice
Finally,
to be
we've
here.
woken up on time.
Yeah.
But if it makes you feel any better, so is Mike, and he lives here. So his house is literally around the back. I'm pretty sure he sleeps behind the counter most nights.
It's not really my house, I just pretended it's
Exactly, yeah.
It's quiet there then. Little getaway.
So yeah, basically we thought we'd have a chat about cars for half an hour or so. No set topic really, it's just talking about random stuff that interests us really.
Chin wagging, really. Like that's it's promoting conversation, which is the main thing. So it's all about just chatting to each other, talking cars. We might as well just go around the room in terms of cars to establish a baseline, and then we can figure out just how many people have the wrong car. And how many people
Shall I just leave now?
It's an aim at me.
after the conversation we had earlier about German versus Japanese cars.
They sit both sides.
There's a bit of a split between them.
There is.
There is actually quite a dramatic split here, yeah.
And then I like to carve right through the middle with my French.
I can join you.
Yeah, we have.
You're basically Belgium at this point.
I'm Belgian.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Neutral party.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose we can go around talking about what cars we drive, what we own, and what we'd like to own potentially. So if we start with Lewis and we'll go around the table.
Yeah, so obviously I've got the GT86, which I tend to like owning. It's doing me quite well.
Tend to.
Sometimes I hate owning it, like when the engine breaks or like when the brakes make fun.
I was told about that earlier for the engine.
Which let's not talk about too much because I'm still trying to be in Toyota's good books. And then I've got the Renault 5, which again, the French car, it's currently on a ramp somewhere having bits welded.
I don't know if it's appeared in any of our videos in the background.
I'm pretty
before.
sure that's somewhere they know where it is.
It's-
It's in the same place as the
You might have
944.
spotted a little silver Renault 5 hiding in the back of our video sometimes, which is Lewis's car.
I think they've made an appearance in a photo or two at least.
It did, yeah.
Possibly,
So
yeah.
it does exist and people have probably seen it. And then technically, Grace's Skoda, my other half's car, is a Volkswagen Polo with a Skoda badge on it.
Yeah.
So I cover all the
Branded.
bases.
Yeah.
This is why I'm the neutral ground. So yeah, I've got those, and I really want a McLaren.
Which one though?
I'd probably settle for an MP412 because they're cheap.
It's a good settle.
I mean, yeah.
So cheap.
They're only 60 grand.
Only?
That's not bad actually. Bargain.
I want a McLaren's are like TVRs for me, is that I want one, but I don't want to own one. Well, I want to drive one, I don't want to own one.
Yeah,
Because I've become scared of them in recent times.
I'm scared of anything happening with the 86, and I feel like a McLaren will just escalate that fear by some degree.
You need an extended warranty
Yeah,
of some
I-
description.
and my own mechanic.
Yeah.
Your own shop.
Yeah,
You need to first purchase a McLaren dealership and service centre.
Yeah.
And then,
There you go. That's
effectively what we're saying is I need to sell a lot of t-shirts because a 60 grand McLaren is actually a £500,000 franchise to be able to pay for a 60
Oh,
grand
absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they make a really interesting and exciting car in a different way to the Germans or the Italians.
they do. I think their cars are surgically excellent
Good
weapons.
as well.
Yeah,
Their
and
weapons.
So good.
doors going up, always a win.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot
Doors
cheaper
and lights
than
going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw an i8 in a car
Agreement.
park yesterday.
I8's a special.
There was an i8 in Sainsbury's, and I was like, I really like them, but I don't lust for one.
Yeah.
It's only got a 3-cylinder engine, so that's
Like a
kind of
mini
a
engine.
tractor. And I said to Grace, I was like, it's a really cool car, and the doors go up, and it's got a carbon tub, but I'm not like, oh my god,
Yeah.
an i8. I'm like, it's just a cool BMW.
For the money, I think
Yeah.
you get amazing presents with those. Like you can rock up to a supercar meet and you look a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and then
they're
you rock up with the door up,
half the price.
you're in.
Exactly.
I met a guy who had one, and I said, oh, what drove you to buy this car? And I could put it through my business because it's a hybrid and it cost me the same as a 320D. He's like, yeah, because of the tax implications of
Yeah.
a 320D
I've got
versus...
320D.
Yeah, you
Well,
can
this is
the question.
you should be having an
get
IA.
yourself an
Seriously?
i8, put it through your business, same kind of.
How big is it to running through?
Why did no one tell me this?
I'm telling you now.
Oh no!
See, now you
Next
know.
week. Next week.
Yeah.
Next
You've got a month.
Yeah.
The guy who told me this, his company is renting cameras, so it's actually relevant to
Oh my God.
two
There we
different
go.
ways.
Perfect.
It's like written in the stars.
The next coffee and cars will be an IA
Yeah.
Yes.
with your branding on it, with jellyfish on it.
Jellyfish or
Big jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Everyone will have no clothes on because.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Although you'll have a problem when you have to put the door up.
Yeah.
Yeah, his legs are out.
So I suppose the fortunate thing is myself and Jared don't have to explain what cars we own because you know.
Yeah,
Which is
except for anybody that's
because
we're-
maybe coming through
yeah,
you.
what we're going to do is we're going to share this video as a morning drive episode and a TBR episode just because then I don't have to shoot anything twice
Yeah.
Yeah.
with my iPhone.
So this you'll be seen twice basically.
Yeah.
But no, obviously your audience will know
Shall
what
we
we're
run
doing.
through what we have real quick for the
Yeah, I
TNS
suppose so.
chapter?
Might as well.
Yeah.
I'll go first. We'll go zigzag. I have Marty, the Mark II MR2 95 car, and then I also have a 2004 RAV4, which is a decent little car.
That's really
Great
cool.
car.
It's nice.
Great little car.
I don't want to sell it. I might have to sell it because of ULEZ in London, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just
Get
not
something
gonna
else.
lie.
Just get something else.
I don't want to though. The RAV4's really good.
Yeah.
I fit an entire engine, gearbox, and engine crane, and about 2 pairs of drive shafts in there.
Which you used.
The engine is there.
I saw a photo of you struggling with a socket the other
There is a gift going around.
To be fair, I've taken apart half the engine. I took the gearbox off myself and the clutch out. So I'm happy.
Taking it off, so yeah.
I'm proud of myself for that. It's something.
It's something.
Yeah, they are. It's these items are in various bits spread across Essex and Kent currently.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Kent as well.
Yes. Yes, I've had to put some stuff
You
in the
can't
garage.
So I suppose we'll go to me now. I've got a daily driver BMW E46 325 M Sport. Fantastic little car. Nothing really wrong with that apart from the rear brake discs, which if you've already watched the channel, you know exactly what happened with that. If not, then feel free to check out that video. That's definitely a fun one. And then I've also got a Porsche 944 S2 that we're currently restoring, which is soon to be on the road. And by soon, I mean by 2023. So
It's been stationary for 2 years. What's
2
the
years.
release?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, in my ownership, I've covered probably 200 miles in it.
Oh,
2
yeah.
years. 2 years.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So
100 miles a year, that's not bad.
that was not in.
Oh,
years,
yeah,
that was
so like a
in- Yeah.
It's 1 day.
So it won't be long until that's back up and running. We'll do some mega stuff with that. We'll probably bring it to one of your events as its
Yeah.
first kind of outing in 2 years.
I was hoping it was going to be here this morning. That photo really got me.
It's because it's the most it's moved.
Yeah,
He
that
was
was the
tempted.
unit round the corner from Luke's.
Yeah, it's
unit.
the yellow
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not at Luke's. I was like, oh my days, it's on the road, and then I realised, oh no, that's
It's
within
just
the industrial
it's
estate.
moved.
Yeah.
It's moved 50 yards.
It's rolled.
Yeah.
He
He
was
just rolled it out of the gate. Oh no, it's moved.
He was close to trying to do it, but I
As
think
soon
it's
as
not
Luke
quite
sent
ready.
that image of the welding being done, I thought, could we get it done for this week?
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. So my Renault has been welded so that it gets to its MOT.
That's literally what we've done
That's
to the
what
Norfolk.
you're
Yeah.
doing as well.
It needs a crash damage done ideally as well.
Well, the thing is,
Maybe.
we can get it on the road with the crash damage on it, but
I feel like that crash damage is probably easier to get out than we all expect.
not when the whole rear end needs to be realigned to.
Oh right, okay. It's not
So-
just that dent.
No, I mean, you
tail
think
line.
the
Get the
amount of
paint
force
body
that's
around.
gone through that rear end, it's not only hit, because it's on the corner that it's
Yeah.
hit, so it's not only caved in the body line, but it's shifted the whole rear end about 2 mils, so the boot doesn't shut properly.
Right. There's actually more work needed than it looks.
Yeah, so you've not just got that panel, you've got the centre panel and to move the other rear quarter
Yeah.
into line as well. So it's quite a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely. It's more than I realised. I look at it and I go, it's just a slight little dent. Why
Yeah.
is this not on the road?
So when you next look at it, if you look at the centre panel
Yeah.
on the side where there's the crash damage, you can actually see it buckled.
Oh, okay. I'll be down there soon enough to get the Renault. So, I'll have a
So
look.
definitely, that's the problem.
September.
You can laugh at the misshaped panels.
Yeah, in all fairness, like the Renault's in much better condition than you think when you first look at
The
it.
Renault is in better condition than the 944. That's saying something.
It's also much cheaper to fix. I have to get Porsche parts because I didn't buy the one that was made by Porsche rather than the one before that was all Volkswagen.
Exactly. Yeah. If it was a 924, it would have been fixed about a year ago. But no, it won't be too long
The
before
second that
that's
sentence
back
started, I knew where it was going.
So I guess flip a coin on who goes
Go on,
next.
you go first.
Well, actually, broken German cars leads quite nicely into mine. And
Well, to be fair, there's a theme, so.
okay. Well, I drive a Mark 1 Audi TT 225, and yeah, it is sort of broken. It's my own doing, most of it.
Self-inflicted break.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I mean, it had a couple of little minor issues, and then you go to fix those, and you think, well, while I'm in there, I'll take that off, you know, and then you realise you can't necessarily do that.
This is the taking it off easy bit.
Yeah. Especially when you pile the bolts up and then knock them over, and then you can't quite remember.
See, I've been labelling all of mine, putting them in bags.
The intention was to label them, and then.
Can you teach Liam that? Because every time I turn off,
Yeah.
it's a different pile of car parts. I'm like, does Liam know where these all go?
The thing is, I now realise that the TTs make some really good storage bin for parts.
Yeah.
So just, especially because I've done the rear seat delete, because obviously, as you probably aware, they're not
Two plus
they're not
it's a bit
great.
pointless.
Yeah. So took those out, got like a replica sort of 240 setup. But now, it's just like a massive van. So just
Because when I saw it, I was like, is this too practical? It's got no rear seats, it's got the nets, it's got the bar.
Yeah, the thing is, all the components are there for it to look really nice, but they just need to be put back together.
Yeah, that's alright though.
Which is, not too bad.
So when the 944 hits the road, we're going to immediately fill that space with an unlock.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I was hoping to be next in line for Charity Corner, to be honest.
I think the Renault's almost back out again.
I think it's more that the space gets rented out to other cars other than the Porsche at that point, because no doubt it
Well, I roll the Porsche out every time I turn
Yeah.
off.
To be honest, I couldn't even
well.
get into Charity Corner.
No, they've got a recovery truck company. We'll just put it on one of their flatbeds. Because one of the videos I'm hoping to do when you get delivery on the go is we'll put the Renault on a flatbed and we'll film like a close-up of me in the Renault with a pizza, and then we'll zoom out and it's on a flatbed
Renault
and
would
the
be a
bonnet
good pizza
open.
boy. The Renault's a good pizza boy car, actually.
It's a really cool. We'll have like we'll get one of those Domino style on the roof.
You need like the little pizza slice on the spring.
Dream cars. I'd like a Ferrari 355 Spider to do my deliveries in. That'd be quite nice.
So Merlin, who does the Duke of London, they've got Santa Maria Pizza within the Duke of London. So when they launched that, he did deliveries in a Murcielago.
Yeah,
I think I saw
The
that.
video,
That's
I think
awesome.
he probably did one.
That is good.
And then
we should do that.
full
Maybe we
cost
just
more
do it
than
together.
pizza.
Yeah.
We need to find an
Maybe we
Italian
should do that one
vehicle
day.
to do some deliveries.
We can definitely find an Italian vehicle. I imagine.
Maybe one of those alcoholics.
Ooh.
I know a guy who's got
Yeah.
one. That is good.
Serious?
Genuinely know a guy.
I don't know anyone.
I don't know if he'd lend it to us.
Video,
He'd deliver pizza in there.
He's also got a 450 horsepower.
Oh, it's Italian?
Quattro.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So the little TikTok that I did with me and all the other classics on the motorway, in part of that is this Greyhound Quattro. It's like wide and it's really. He's got
black wheels.
yeah.
I
He's
think
got
I've
an
seen that.
Alphaholics Alpha Junior, but the bright blue one.
Oh,
lovely.
blue sounds nice.
Bright blue with a tan leather interior.
I
Oh.
like Italian
fantastic.
cars which aren't red.
There you go.
Yeah, I also know a guy who's got a very nice green over tan Alpha Junior, which is in really nice condition. He might lend us that to do this video.
Yeah, I don't think I know anyone with an Italian car. Well, Luke
Wait, so-
has some, I think.
Oh no, I was going to
So
say.
we
looking at the
could borrow
Italian
that
flag,
131 from
was
this
it
morning.
green?
That would
red?
work.
That was
Absolutely.
I'm sure Luke's got
I think so.
Okay.
He's got a GTA with the
GTV6.
GTV6
Yes.
with the engine in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got that.
It's a shame because that actually could. That's
That would be
a really
awesome.
mega car.
All right.
Noises.
I'll buy it.
Motorcycle. Still nice. I like that.
Yeah, no.
Right, we don't need to see the whole demographic.
Making
Quickly
sure
retracted
I'm a
that.
man of the people.
That's what we were seeing that.
So I daily a 320D E46, which is amazing, but the rear springs are snapped, so hence the broken Germanness.
There we go.
It's a touring though as well.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
I
love
love estates.
Yeah.
But I have a Renault Clio 172 Cup,
Also
which is dead
Very
at the moment.
It's dead. Yeah,
The
how
battery's
dead?
dead.
Oh, the battery's dead.
But it needs new brakes and tyres. And the list goes on for a little.
Batteries.
Yeah.
But that'll be a
Batteries are
little
not an obstacle.
Yeah, well, that'd be a little bit of a track race car because it's amazing.
fantastic.
It's honestly, it's-
Henry Catchpole drives them.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, he's got 180, which
Right,
is worse.
true.
So the
Yeah, the
170 is
172 is
much
a better
better.
one.
Much better. But
Did yours have a single white stripe run across it?
no,
Why haven't you got that part?
But mine's not the right colour for that. So that's
Yours not the right blue.
That's the racing blue.
Right.
I think mine's the other blue.
I don't think I've seen the stripe.
There's
on it
racing
before.
blue.
Have you not
petrol
seen
blue.
the? So when the 172 came out,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
in
there's
the
one-
same blue that Alonso's
There's two-
Formula One car
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
And it had a single white, or is it two?
Oh, that
Very
sounds fun.
skinny.
I've not seen that.
Was it one of
I'll
the
show you.
small ones?
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I'll show you that.
I don't think it's that. That might be the Fiat ones that had it. It's
Yeah.
basically it was off centre.
It was a stripe.
yeah. But mine's not that colour.
So
Mine's a
yours
different
is
colour.
the darker blue. That
Yes.
still look nice in all fairness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have an old Mini, which as well. An old
You
classic.
kept that quite early.
1984.
Saving that up.
So I've had that car since I was 12.
Wow.
And it was completely rotten. It was my grandma's car. She
That's
handed
cool.
it down. I replaced, it's full restoration, so replaced the front end and the rear end.
And the middle?
That's the only bit that was stayed, to be fair. Like the floor plan,
There is no middle.
actually, no, I think the floor plan did come out.
Right.
So it's just the roof.
All forward.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I need to get some welding done.
yeah, I didn't do the welding. This is when I was much younger. It went from a 998cc to a 1310, and so it's scary quick. But I would like to turbocharge that.
You could
Ooh.
extend the front subframe and squeeze in a 1.9 from an EP.
You can put
Really?
the
I was about to
the
say-
Honda,
Yeah.
Honda VTEC engines.
I was about to say case swap it.
A
hand.
guy I
can
used
do
to rock climb with had one.
But I think when you extend the front on a Mini to get the Honda engines in, which you don't have to do, but they look wrong in my opinion.
They look a bit odd. don't
They do look odd.
If you affect like the wheelbase or like the length of any vehicle,
Yeah,
or it's just,
yeah.
does it all
It's out
sort
of
of go?
proportion. Then,
It's
isn't
not
Yeah.
something's not
Yeah,
right.
it's uncanny
Yeah,
valley.
it doesn't look right.
Mm.
But that I hope to have that up soon, and it needs a bit of work to into it, but
I need to see this car.
Yeah,
It
you
was
said
all
that
local, so we
earlier.
could actually have a look at this at some point.
yeah. Well, it was champagne beige, and I was like, no, that's rubbish. So I painted it a Subaru.
How dare you! Oh, champagne beige!
I painted it Subaru World Rally Car blue, World Rally blue, or whatever it was.
Okay,
And now,
I can allow
but
that.
now, but now I really miss the beige. I want the beige back because I've seen them.
It's made beige great again.
Though, isn't it?
I think champagne
yeah.
coloured cars are coming back.
Mm.
It's
Because
such
I
an
think I
80s
suddenly
colour.
want
Yeah,
one.
it's
I
such a
don't
good
know
colour.
why.
This one around here's got a champagne Z4. I'm
Mm.
not sure it suits. Because
Is
it's
it
a 2013 Z4.
It's
Oh.
a bit too new.
It's too
No, you
new
need
for
a-
the colour.
I want like a champagne Lexus LS400.
Yeah,
That would
Mm.
work on some decent wheels.
Yeah.
Some really nice wheels.
Mm.
They look really nice. I really want an LS400.
Yeah.
I just want a 4 litre V8 basically.
Yeah.
So I just want a V8.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want a V8, but I don't want to spend 20 grand on an E63.
I think if you get them at a certain age, they are ULEZ compliant as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I need
It's
to.
So they might actually
draw
be
this Venn diagram.
Mine's still
Well, I'm now considering such a vehicle.
3 months in, I think. It's
There's a
ridiculous.
Venn diagram because they say anything over 2005 is
Yeah.
ULEZ compliant, don't they? So
Yeah,
there's a Venn
it's
diagram of
yes.
people who drive pre 2005 cars,
Yeah.
people who can afford to pay £15 a day, and that crossover is literally just classic car owners.
Yeah.
Because the people who drive 2005 and earlier cars
Mm.
do so out of necessity because they don't have the money to buy a new car.
Yeah.
And the people that can afford to pay £15 a day drive modern cars because
Mm.
they can afford to pay £15 a day. So the only people that do both,
Bang on in the middle.
classic car owners, that's
Yeah.
the only people. So the only people that are now able to pay and in a position of driving an old car are just not going to go to London.
To be fair, I could go all the way. I could
Why
get a
would you want to
40-year-old car that has no tax.
Is
or
it
anything.
40-year-old that is
Tax and MOT exempt,
yeah.
but I don't know if it's...
So if I was, but then again, getting a 40-year-old daily car is probably not a good idea.
I daily my Escort and look how that went.
my
It did
Renault is
not go well.
36 years old. So
You're nearly there.
I'm getting close to...
It
And that
looks
is-
older.
That is the perfect.
The Mark 1 Renault 5 looks even cooler because it's got the half-covered rear
Yeah.
wheels. I
Mm.
passed one the other day,
Yeah.
and I was out with a trainee, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it was champagne beige.
Of course.
Such a good
I was like,
I
"Oh my god, a
painted it.
Renault 5!" And this kid is like 21 from East London,
It's like, what's a Renault 5?
proper like listen. We had mumble rap on at one point, I think, which I have no idea about. So we were talking about music, and I was like, because I put on some like heavy metal because I can't understand what he's saying. I was like, you have to learn how it sounds.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the equivalent of mumble rap to you. Like, you have to learn how to listen to that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, right, okay. So we were listening to whatever music he was into. This Renault 5, I was like, oh my God, a Renault 5. And he was like, what are you on about? I was like, that car right there is like, oh, that's just an old shit box. I was like, how dare you? I nearly just pulled over. We were in like Ipswich as well, and he's from like London. I was like, I will leave you in Ipswich. Good luck.
Walk home and think about what you just said.
It's a long enough walk for you. Appreciate the
It's
time.
odd though, because I'll say this from when I was younger, is that when I went past an old car, I didn't necessarily know what it was.
No, I never used
And
to.
then-
It's not about knowing what it is, but it's appreciating it's an old car.
But that's the
You
thing,
didn't
like
think it
even
was
back then, I didn't really think, a Renault 5 would have been anything of value.
I never would have looked at that.
As I've got into the car industry and I've started to appreciate what, these cars
Well, back
mean.
then, a Renault 5 was a current car in the 90s.
They were to a penny.
Well, do you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
to assume I would have remembered anything in the 90s? I would have been what? 4, 5,
What
2000?
year were you born?
96.
Okay, I was 93.
I was 91.
So you would have been able to remember that.
I was a little bit older.
I don't want to say either.
He's 20.
Mike's had that Casio.
I'm 2001.
That's crazy.
You're younger than my younger brother.
I'm just going 1983.
Oh yeah, you're 10 years old. Yeah. So that Casio is from...
This is this is just mine.
He's not
Not
being
big Casio.
cool, he's just had that.
This is a Renault.
You're the guy that's been driving an old car from New York.
Be careful, lady.
Yeah.
I make me because I'm sure all my Casio today.
I've got that.
My
Just-
smart
just-
just ran out of battery, so it's in my pocket.
They just tell the time. Oh, now
Yeah.
I sound really old.
Like Nokia 3010.
No, I nearly bought one of those. I never released them. I was like, do you know what?
They are so cool.
Yeah.
Apparently they're bringing back a Razor. Like a
Yeah, they brought it back.
Oh, have
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
It's just no
I
one.
did threaten.
Oh.
I did threaten the kids with a 3210. I was a bit like the Top Gear episode. You know when they did the scooters and they had that one with the American.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I kind of said to the kids, I was like, if you break your iPhones,
You're
I'm gonna,
3310.
you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great tactic, actually.
It's a really
That's a good tactic.
Oh,
They would
Well,
have
it seems to have worked. So
None of
I'm
us
just
have
going
tips.
with
I don't
None of us
have to
have
think
tips,
about these kind of tactics because none of us have got like kids. None of us have got a 13-year-old
No,
to think about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I am, to be honest.
No, it's
Poor guy.
it's interesting as well because when you think about it, all of our interesting cars is actually quite
Recently acquired.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's been a thing of like, I've always liked cars because my family, everyone in the family likes cars, but it's like, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I was kind of sat down and I was like constantly going through hobbies. And it's like, like you literally just like, I spend loads of money, all the gear and no idea, start a hobby and drop it quickly. And it's and it's like, what is the one thing I've constantly liked? So I was like, oh, it's cars. So now I've just gone far too deep into cars and spend a lot of money.
But at least
every
it's been
month
the
on
hobby
fuel.
that sticks.
Yeah, it has lasted, thankfully.
You are still only young though, so
Yeah, I've got
where
plenty
you
of time
are
to-
in 10 years.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you'd have done better financially with a drug habit.
Probably. I thought my cars haven't been too bad, Smash.
I had a 1980s
Just
Mini
wait.
as my first.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Clearly been buying the wrong cars.
Yeah. So what was everyone's first cars? Because I had an 88 Mini, same shape as yours.
I had a Mini first car.
Yeah.
I had 3 Minis.
I had a Mini, but a BMW Mini.
Oh.
I had a 2002.
You're a
Mini
baby though. Like,
Yeah.
That's like classic now.
It is, yeah. It's 20 years old.
The first one, yeah. The
It's
first
true.
new.
It's, my car, that car, oh my god, that car is nearly 20 years old now.
Yeah.
I know where it is. A family friend bought it. I kind of want it.
Yeah,
Buy it
but-
back.
Buy back for the channel.
I sold it for 500 quid. They won't give it back. I won't get it.
Please don't give him ideas.
My dad had a 2001 Mini for his estate agents back before that was popular to do.
They're great
really.
cars until you have to do any work to them.
Yeah.
They're incredibly expensive to get.
I heard that
anything
they were
done to.
apparently they had Peugeot engines in them when they were
The
early
original
stages.
ones had some Peugeot.
It's a Duratec engine or something like that. It's like some. The
I didn't
one I have
realise
is like from some
Yeah.
Brazilian factory. It's just like some pattern engine that anyone can put their badge on. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first car?
My first car.
You have to
was
Flintstone it.
I
You
did,
had to do that.
but it's a theme. BMW E30.
Oh, good.
E30.
E30.
However,
Oh, okay. Right.
yeah, didn't really get to use it the way I wanted to because it
Oh,
was
this was the project.
really, this was the one that we basically first car was East London, bought a never buy an E30 from East London.
Yeah.
It's the fun. I had to. But no, so I bought this E30. Started, first car clicked.
Did you get scared?
I thought like someone had come in and turned the coffee machine on. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Just excitement. That's what it is. So no, it's a 40 E30 and just started kind of putting things right. And I wanted to make it a project. First car, you know how you get really excited about it. And it just got to a point I'd gotten literally everything together. And we'd taken it for sent it to be painted. And funny enough, I was going to do it like matte black, and that was probably a long time ago.
That was
which would have been way before.
That was ahead of the
thing.
trend.
It would have been like one of the first matte black cars ever. And just got into paint, and we've got a phone call, and the guy was like, "Listen, this is going to go one of two ways." And it's like, how much money do you have? And I was like, probably not enough to
fix this.
To fix it. And the thing is, the one thing I was always taught was never to get yourself in debt for a car. So I was like, look, strip off what you can take, sell those bits, and then we'll go from there. I'll sell everything off. And then, so sort of really, my first car that I got to use properly would have been a VW Bora.
Still cool
Little old man car.
So this is the German.
This is where the German.
This is the thing. So it's like sad, broken German refuse centre, really, basically. So got that, kind of imported loads of little bits and pieces. I had a GLI kit from the US because over there was the Jetta. So Jetta GLI kit, got all that. Got some anniversary wheels which are now on the TT. It's the only thing that I saved from it.
BBS.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
and it was white, which was quite rare in those.
You've also got a sneaky set of BBS OZs, haven't you?
I do have some
hidden away.
I do have Super Leggera 3 split rim OZ wheels knocking about somewhere in an undisclosed location. Seeing as they worth more than my car.
I'm interested in said location. Security measures at said location.
There's a jiu-jitsu fighter always waiting for you. It's just they got the wheel. That's what George was here for.
Team Ninjas, it's the only Japanese thing I'd entertain.
Actually, my MR2 had OZs on it before I bought it, but
they took them off.
They were Mitsubishi Evo fitment wheels, so because the MR2 staggered from factory, and so the guy was like, "It does wobble a bit at speed." I was like, "I don't really want that."
Please put that on.
And also, I could not afford the car unless I got it down $3,500. And the guy had it up for like $3,700 and didn't want to sell it really, but he's like, I think he was begrudging because he's got kids and that. He's like, I'm just getting interest. And I was like, I really want this car. I was like, please, if you could take the wheels off and I'll put the stock ones back on that you've got in the garage with awful crashed tyres. And I nearly crashed the car the morning after getting it on the tyres because I'm stupid. I was just like, please. And I was like, please, I'll buy the car. I'll go into the pub across the road. I'll change it myself, and then I'll bring it back to you. And did that. And that was the only way I could afford the car. So I bargained down.
They were not £200 off a car.
Well, I'm horrible at negotiating. That was my tactic.
You are a child, that's why.
I went there on my own as well, and I'd never bought a car on my own before.
Sort of just broken your own car before you bought it.
I did. Yeah. Like my very first car, I went there with a car salesman who knew the exact Part X value of it because he'd run it through his database and stuff. He's a family member, and then the guy who straight away said, "Oh yeah, we Part X'd it a few days ago." So I knew it was worth £800 to them, and I paid £1,700 for it and £75 off the price advertised. And
you had a car salesman.
But obviously they negotiated with me because they knew that he was there to do it for me, so they attacked me, and I therefore was the Bambi.
There we go.
I was going to say,
absolutely not to sweep in and be like.
To be fair, it was one of those things where like I'd seen it on Auto Trader, and I was like,
you set it up.
You just done it, decided
it was black with red interior, which after I let the car sit for a few months and I sat back in the car, I was like, this is awful. It's like so.
My eyes.
Because I had a Mini Cooper that was all black on black, and I got in it. I drove that for a while, and went back to driving the Mini, and I got in it. I was like, it's horrible. It wasn't good. I do want it back. I miss it.
Red is one of those colours.
I miss it one too.
TT's got red.
Burgundy red, though, isn't it?
Mine was a burgundy red, but it felt quite aggressive still.
But even the bright red, I put the TT, and when I bought it, I was like, yes. And now, the more I think, I'm starting to think, you know what, maybe when I do the seats, maybe I'm just going to have black, maybe with a little bit of red.
So can I interest you in public transport upholstery?
The German manufacturers do that. don't they?
No, they do. They
Weird coloured
Bit of
interiors.
northern
do you
light.
remember the VW Harlequin cars?
Oh, I love
Those are fun.
I mean, I think they're cool, but
Except for that
they do like
Fabia
a
that's
car.
looking around. That
Oh, I
was
saw it.
I think
that was a good one. the other day.
Yeah, that.
Maybe I should, when I get mine
That
sprayed,
is
maybe I
quite
should just do a
cool.
Harlequin.
Don't.
No,
Harlequin
honestly,
TT.
could you imagine?
Has that been done before?
No, because
No,
it's
it's
not
probably
for, like,
replacing it.
I feel like it's been done to every Volkswagen ever
It
made.
doesn't have enough panels to warrant it.
No,
Because you've only
no,
got like
there
the
are-
three
there are a lot of
portions,
panels.
the doors, the
It
wings,
looks
the
quite
back.
good on like the older polos.
Because everything's.
There's
I
loads
used
of
to-
loads of
yeah,
little
I used to have a
panels, but yeah,
672.
like TT just look horrendous.
I think Liam might have everyone top trumped on first car though.
Yeah,
Yes.
go on.
1978 Mark II Escort.
There we go.
Well, there you go.
You
No.
win.
I thought
That's
mine
the
was
end
pretty
of
good,
it.
to be fair.
But to be fair, you had to take the bigger engine out of it and put it back on the factory.
Yeah, it's in order to get
For
insurance.
insurance.
I had to change it from a 1600 to a 1300.
Oh, you had to tell them that you
Is
had
it
a
full?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually, because I was in
Yeah.
the middle of an engine swap to an M52.
What happened to it?
Oh,
It
no.
died.
How bad?
Died? Or
Renault
just-
Traffic. Basically, this was back in
Renault
2018.
A big car.
Yeah, big van. In 2018, when we had that massive downpour, I don't know if you remember late in the year where everything was flooding in 2018
There's been so many
Wow,
floods
last
since
week.
then.
Yeah, quite a few.
Basically,
Yeah,
long, long story
yeah.
short is
Yeah.
that the road was like super oily and
Yeah.
grimy, and then I had like guard track tyres on it or something like that. I don't know what kind
Never
of.
heard of it.
Yeah,
That's the problem, man.
They make one tyre of it.
Basically,
There's one time he crashed into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
See them for it.
So I went through standing water, and obviously you test brakes afterwards, fine, no problem. But as soon as we got
Oh,
to
is
this,
that the rule?
on an old car,
Yeah.
and then I got to basically quite a tight left-hander, and then suddenly I felt that the car was continuing straight and not making the turn. But because of the tightness of the corner, the van had to go in the middle of the road to make it. So if he had been on the correct where he was meant to be, it would have been okay. But the fact he was in the middle of the road meant that they just went straight into the. And I said this in the video, is that I actually can't put pressure on my wrist now because of the crash damage.
I have a clicky wrist after
Yeah.
a similar
Well,
event.
I can hear that.
But like you can tell the difference in.
Yeah.
So
I had a similar thing. A car came around the corner as I was coming around the corner in the wet.
What car is it?
I had a Citroen C2
Nice.
after my Mini. They had a bloody tailgate. The
Yeah,
back
it's
tailgate
yeah.
C2 opens.
Yeah.
One bit goes up, and one
That's a
goes
film
down.
car.
there we go.
Let's get one.
Yeah.
That's
Let's get a
literally
fun
what
car.
happened to me.
Yeah.
So
It's the only reason I was
same scenario. They came across the line. I slid very mildly, met in the middle,
Yeah.
and then they got out and started hurling abuse at me.
Fortunately,
I was
my-
in Doncaster as well, so it was a Doncaster accent.
That's
I was like,
classic.
I already don't understand what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, fortunately, my guy was very chilled about it.
But he just ruined the classic, whereas these it's
Yeah.
teenagers.
I mean, he
too.
literally
Pretty
it was so slow the impact that his airbags didn't even deploy.
Right, and
Yeah.
yours definitely didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these were my airbags.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because that car had like big plans.
Yeah.
and it's when you lose a
They're
classic
huge
like
for
that.
that money now.
Well, yeah.
So did they
Yeah,
write
I don't
off
think-
not when you buy it back?
It's always when
So-
someone sells something like that, everyone reiterates how much money you
This
essentially
is
could have had.
this is the interesting thing that they said that it's a write-off and that you can't buy it back. And then I saw on one of the Mark II Escort groups that immediately, about 2 months later, it was at a scrapyard and someone was actually.
Fine.
So
Was it a Copart auction?
well, so it was originally meant to be at one of those salvage auctions,
Yeah.
and then it went silent. I couldn't find it at all. And then its parts popped up on eBay like 2 months later. I thought, okay, I can track this down finally. Where's it gone? And apparently, yeah, the shell is not on the road, but it might have been turned into some sort of a track/rally.
Right.
So,
Well, this has lived on, you know?
well, yes,
possible.
They would have liked
Yeah,
you didn't get to live on with it.
yeah,
They kind of, dick you over a little bit there, but
anything's repairable at the
Yeah,
end
of
of
course.
the day. I mean,
especially like that.
an insurance company will say that anything's a write-off, so they don't have to repair it.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it gets to a point where a car gets so old and so valuable that you physically can't really write it off. You need to
Yeah.
continue to repair it.
Yeah.
like the F40s when they burn and whatever.
Completely
crash.
rebuilt.
You buy a pile of ash when
Yeah.
you've got the rights to an F40 and you just build one.
As long as the matching numbers plates are there,
that's
it's
it.
good to
It's a
go.
458 burn, and they've sold that as well.
Yeah.
And that's not even an F40. That's
Yeah.
the recent Ferrari.
So
My 86 that didn't get written off, and the eventual bill
Yeah.
was like 50 grand.
yeah.
And it wasn't even for the repair of the car; it was the hire car. I had a C-class Merc through an accident management company, and I had it for a month and a half. So the bill for the hire of that car was like 30 grand. I was like, you could have just given me a new 86.
A couple of new games.
Yeah.
Would have got 2 for that.
I could have got 3 of it in its current value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the price of renting a C-class for a couple of months.
My brother-in-law sold his 86 for a little under 10 grand, I think.
They're holding money.
They're holding their value okay.
Yeah.
They're
Like
approaching
10 to
10
12.
years old.
Yeah.
2012
That's
the first
ridiculous. I remember them coming out.
2012. And then next year the first ones will hit 10 years old.
They are cool though. They're good cars.
So have you crashed anything?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No,
Well,
Got that to come.
I've had
I mean,
you've done a love tap.
I've done a
love tap.
I've done a love
That's
tap
right.
in Tottenham traffic, and the guy it was
That's just normal driving.
East
London, East.
Yeah.
The guy got out. There was no damage to his already completely banged up little small compact transit.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, don't worry, have a beer." And I was like, "Don't have a beer. We've technically just been in a traffic accident. Why have we
Did he
drinking?"
give you a bit?
How
No,
did
no.
you?
It's a massive van.
We've just been in a road traffic.
Yeah.
I know.
I was-
needs a beer.
I was proper freaking out because I'd never done anything like that. The worst I'd done before that was
Scary.
that's the first time I'd ever been involved in anything with anyone else.
Yeah.
I previously had half put my Mini Cooper in a ditch on the way back from work once, but I drove out of the ditch, so it was alright.
Right.
Where it was country road at night coming back from work. There might have been Eurobeat playing from Initial D, and
You
someone
forgot you were in a front wheel drive.
someone came my way and they had a modern car, bright lights, and I just didn't realise I had as much room as I did. So for them, they just saw a Mini just randomly drive off the side of when they had plenty of room. But then I was like, into the ditch.
This reminds me about, have you seen the video of that iGo where it's like it's inside the car and this car comes and the car is way over.
Yeah.
And he basically drives up a stone wall. It's like, bloody hell.
Oh, yes, I've seen it. Is that what he gets out and he's like, what was that?
Yeah.
So the most proper
No
accident.
anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like stands out of his car because it's on its side.
I'm
isn't it?
okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think
That is
I've
funny.
technically been in an accident in every single car.
You and Liam.
Yeah, no,
I reckon with another.
My Mini got rear-ended, in which was my first ever accident, and I was not happy.
No.
That thing was my baby.
Yeah.
And even skinny ass 17, 18-year-old me with the Justin Bieber haircut of the time
You just like,
scared the crap out of the BMW driver that hit me.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was in a suit and everything, looked like a right little nerd. What car? And this goes, I'm really sorry. I was like, okay, we've admitted fault. There we go.
video.
And then the Citroen had the midway in a corner thing.
Yeah.
The Audi that I had afterwards, so I had an Audi A6 Avant. I technically just twisted that driving over a curb.
Jeez.
So I was doing a night shift and I went to Tesco on my break. And there's little diamonds with a tree in the middle. Well, there was no tree and the diamond was scrubbed with tire marks. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's black. And I just drove straight over it at 30. I was like, oh, I've done something here.
I've done something.
Yeah.
I managed to get back to work and then back home, and then the next day I had a flat tyre. I was like, I've definitely done something now.
Yeah.
Were you driving like that?
No, it was driving relatively straight. Basically what I've done is I've given it impromptu negative camber. So
Starts his life.
But I thought I'd just knock the tracking out. So I got the tracking realigned, and then I had new tyres. That seemed to be fine. It was driving straight. So then a couple of months later, I was cleaning it. And I was like, oh, just check the tyre treads. And the inside edges were canvas, full. I put my hand there and I cut my hand open. I was like, oh, there's wires here. So I took it to my friend. I was like, I need some new tyres. He went, this has got a fixed rear axle, right? There is no adjustment for camber or toe or anything. So if you've got camber or toe, something's bent. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So if your tyres are sat at camber, so the inside edges are completely smooth and the outside edges are fine, you've either bent the chassis bent the axle. Something is bent, and this car's worth 400 quid. Like, it's going to cost you $1,000. I was like, right, okay. So I got new tyres on to hide the fact that had happened. Went to Available Car and bought the 86. Just gave it to them. I was like, there you go.
What, just part X?
Yeah, 400 quid I got for it. I was like,
decent.
Was you honest about the damage?
No.
Oh.
They're just going to send it to auction. I was like, here is a car.
Yeah, they didn't ask.
Fair play.
They checked it over, they took it for a drive, no problems. Not my issue anymore.
So if you have an Audi A6
Yeah.
that's holding tyres very quickly,
To be honest,
this is the reason why.
I'll give you the number plate. It's MFO4 FYM, I think, or FYT. Something like
Stay
that.
away, stay away.
Yeah,
I'm checking if it's on there.
Oh, it might. That's
Is it
probably
still on the road?
Yeah, this
MOT history time.
it's probably a show, an Audi show at the minute.
Yeah, it's
and
probably
someone's
back.
probably
Slammed
actually,
it.
yeah,
It's
just
probably
slammed it.
slammed
Just-
with a load
someone's
of
like,
That's
"Oh,
it. It was already done.
Yeah,
Let me
You've
go.
probably made someone's day. Don't
I
worry.
just got visions of like the old Hot Wheels.
What's
cars.
our reg number again?
Oh, let me
Keep
find a
going.
photo of it so I can give you the actual reg number and then we'll find it.
Obviously, have you had a look at the Audi's number
Yes,
plate?
we have, and it went off the road in 2018,
At 213,000 miles.
which is probably meant it got turned into a taxi.
Yeah.
When did you, so
I got rid of it in 2016.
oh, so it did go on afterwards?
It had 2 years
Oh,
after.
fair.
A little more.
Shit.
Yeah, because I got the 86 5 years ago in July.
Hmm.
So yeah, 2016.
That's not too bad.
and it had done maybe 130,000.
So it's done.
That's a lot.
So
of
it
tyres. It
is.
seems like a lot of tyres.
It's done like it's done like 70,000 miles
With a
pair of tyres.
This car just uses so many tyres.
Even that one, because it was all on the inside edge, where you don't,
Oh, they just don't
see,
know.
they just don't know. Like, why is it making this noise as the camera switch? You still got no idea.
Just bang and pulls one.
Yeah.
On side.
Oh, this is weird. These Audis are supposed to be built better than this, aren't they?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've been chatting for nearly
We have had a good old
flies,
flight.
We need to do plug time.
plug time. So yeah, we'll go around the table. We'll start with Matt.
Yeah.
So, not at any edge of the TV.
Yeah, we'll go diagonally. It's fine.
So I'm SFJ Creative on Instagram. I'm SFJ Media on YouTube, even though I haven't put much stuff up there. But there are some videos up there if you want to come watch some Clio content. But
Just for clarity, what does SFJ stand for?
so I was listening to a Gorillaz song when I decided to turn my life around and start my own business, and that song was Super Fast Jellyfish. Because I love Gorillaz.
There you
This
go.
isn't actually the
So
way around.
SFJ.
So we're all going to go and listen to that song.
It's a good song. It's a great song.
This is
Yeah, it might change your life, you know.
And then we'll go to Lewis.
So I'm Takona official on pretty much everything.
Mhm.
I think, well, this will obviously be on the Takona YouTube as well as your TBR stuff. So you'll have already found me on YouTube if it's been on. And then Takona official on Instagram and Twitter. And I think it might just be Takona for Facebook because it's quite a unique name.
You could do coffees and cars here.
Yeah.
As where Mike would introduce second Sunday of every month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second Sunday of every month in Sawbridgeworth at.
14.
There you go.
There you are.
Ta-da!
I don't know if that's in shot, but
Also reference this pizza Squisita just in case Google Maps doesn't show up.
yeah, you'll
Yeah,
probably if you're looking for it on Google Maps, Pizza Squisita is probably the one to look
Yeah.
for because at the moment that's more
Yeah.
popular.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's been going on then.
Yeah, it's been going a little bit longer, and we do Instagram account for the cafe is 40_bell_street.
Good stuff. And then, you can find me at Liam D. Freeman on Twitter and Instagram.
I thought we were doing the podcast interview.
Yeah.
And I'm at Jared Drives on Twitter and Instagram also.
So that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed. Definitely a different video to what we normally do. Probably more standard to what.
More in line with what I do, just with more people.
Yeah.
This episode, we've got 4 guests.
Lewis has stolen us for his own stuff.
I have commandeered a camera and a microphone for the morning because mine is my iPhone and 2 lapel mics.
So, thank you ever so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like below, subscribe on all the normal channels, and we will catch you in the next one.
I should probably start doing that on my video. I was like,